Should companies run like a democracy?
Take effing action, put it together, and subscribe to Tom Penn's channel on YouTube now. Yeah, I like it. It's crazy.
In this channel, we talk a lot about leadership and management. And by now, you should know where I stand in terms of leadership and management, what I believe in. What is good leadership? What is good management? According to Tom. I made so many videos here that you can watch and find out. And what I teach you is effective. It works. Leadership ultimately is about people doing what you ask them to do. If they don't do what you say, are you still the leader? The answer is no, you're not the leader anymore if people can refuse to do what you ask them. Correct? That is the most basic definition of leadership. Also applies to me. If I ask my warriors or direct reports, if I ask them, you got to do this, and they say, no, I don't want to do it, am I still leading? No, I'm not leading. And in those cases, you either have to find out what's their objection, correct it, or you have to let them go. If they refuse to follow my lead, then I have to choose to let them go. There's no other option, because if people can choose to not follow me, then this company will be in chaos. They will not do what I say. People do whatever they want. So the question is, should companies operate as a democracy? What is a democracy? Democracy means that one person, one vote. Based on people's wishes, the government define their policy and execution. That's what democracy is. One person, one vote. The people decide who runs the government, and the government execute. A lot of people think that democracy means government follows the people. But I'm here to tell you that's actually not entirely true. Because once the people elect the politicians to run the government, let's say the president, the prime minister, the governor, the provincial governor, whatever, right? They run the government and they decide what to do and they execute it. And at that point, the people have no voice. The people have already chosen the people to run the country, and then the people that run the country will run the country, and then until re-election. So that's in a democracy. Not every country runs like that, but in a democracy, that's how it runs. There are problems because when you run a democratic country, people want to be popular because the popular people gets the vote. The popular people are not necessarily the most competent people. That's why we have people that are not so competent running the government in the United States, even in Canada. Democracy is not always the solution. Democracy does not generate results for the people. Democracy does not build great country. I'll give you another example. India, total democracy, British parliamentary system, 100% democracy, but it's shithole. Democracy does not guarantee a great country. The reason Canada and United States, New Zealand, Australia, Great Britain, they have such high standard of living, their country have such good quality of living for its people, actually has not a whole lot to do with democracy. It has to do with mindset. They think very differently compared to the rest of the world. They have this Western mindset. Democracy sometimes don't work for those countries. Now, should companies run like a democracy? One person, one vote. What the employees say counts. Should a company run like that? What do you think I'm gonna say? Imagine you have a company where the employees can vote on the policies, on the decisions, on the execution of the company. Imagine that. That would be paradise. That would be like communism, or that would be like total socialist paradise, maybe. But would that system work? And I would say no, because people are gonna vote to do less work. People are gonna vote to lower the KPI. People are gonna vote to do nothing. And then the whole team will collapse. The whole company will collapse. That's the end of the company. No company, no job. So the employees will self-destruct. I'm not saying this out of theory. There's actually one company in Vietnam that I know tried to run like that. I don't know if they're still in business. I won't mention the name, but it's a business process outsourcing company based in Vietnam, but it's run by French people. Some French entrepreneur come to Vietnam, started this business. They're doing business process outsourcing for companies in Europe. So, and one day, some glorious leader in France decided, you know what? We're gonna run our company like a democracy. Every employee has the right to decide what happens in the company. He actually implemented that system. And in fact, the employees can decide their own salaries. Holy fuck. So let's say if I work in that company and I want to raise my salary, all I have to do is to get like 3 other people to agree to it. And then it's done. You think that system will work very well in Vietnam? When I first heard about this experiment, I was so intrigued. I interviewed a lot of people from that company. I even went to that company because I was so intrigued by this idea that a company can run as a democracy. I asked someone to take me into that company and interview everybody, visit everybody, like talk to everyone. True story. This is like around 2017, I think. You know what they say secretly to me? Oh, this company's going down. The company was doing extremely well. They're like driving sales, driving revenue. It's like one of the really good companies here in Vietnam. But once they turned that into a democracy, I heard that the revenue went down 90%. So they lost 90% of their revenue once they implemented that change. They make employees democratic members of the company. Everybody has a vote. Everybody can decide what to do. Everybody can vote everybody's salaries. And the management in France still stuck with it. They don't want to change. They want to keep going to prove that they can run a company as a democracy. I don't know what happened to them now. I need to go find out. I probably should check after this video, but I strongly suspect they're no longer in business. This is actually a true story, not making this up. So when you run your team, when you run your company like a democracy, your people have the choice of not to do the work, not to do the work, go to meeting, not to go to the meeting, go to training, not to go to the training. They decide because they have freedom. They have human rights. You think you're going to build a great company that way? I don't think so. Because people need to be pushed. People need to be motivated, pushed, so that they will do more. They will drive results. They need to prove to themselves that they can do it. Most people are inspired by fear. Most people, given no external pressure, they rather just sit at home and jack off. Most people are like that. I think you would agree. If your manager did not push you, if your leader did not push you, you think you would do the work? No. You sit at home and suck your own dick. That's what you would do. Or like lick your own pussy, I don't know. That's most people. So that's what the role of manager and leader are so important, because they're there to drive results. They're there to motivate, inspire, even threaten if required. The whole point is to get people to do what we want them to do. If everybody can do whatever they want, everybody's going different directions, you think that's going to be a great company? No. Companies should not run like a democracy. And what companies should do is they should run like the military or a sports team. For example, in the military, let's say we're fighting a war. We're going to war. Can the soldiers say, I don't want to go because it's too dangerous. I don't want to die. Can I stay? Everybody vote stay. Everybody vote stay. You think we're going to win the war if soldiers have that level of democracy? If you run a soccer team, a football team, you're the team manager, you're the team coach, your players can decide when to practice, when to come to practice, when not to come to practice, when not to come to team meetings. You think you're going to have a great football team? They miss training all the time because it's up to them. It's their choice. And because you believe in democracy and human rights, oh, it's okay, they don't come. They have freedom. They can choose. They have human rights, They can choose for themselves. If you believe that, then you're going to be the shittiest team in the world. So companies should run like the military or a football team. And only the best people stay. You don't want lousy players on your team. If you want to win games, you got to have the best players in the team. If you have people that don't know how to play football on your team and give them total freedom, you think you're going to be the best team there? No. Same with a company. So recently, we have this manager who keeps on arguing with me about people are people. They need freedom. They need human rights. So I asked, all my new salespeople to go to product training. They must go to product training. And I see that salespeople from this particular leader did not go. And I ask why. And then she says, well, they have human rights, Sometimes they cannot go. That's what she told me. I was so upset. I had so much trouble with this leader. This leader thinks he's protecting everybody, but actually I get so many complaints about this leader. Her team members email me and say, please transfer me to another team because she's crazy. Like she says crazy things in meetings. Like she's not really motivational. She's trying to be the union boss. She's trying to create problems between the company and the employees. Thankfully, my employees don't buy that. My employees are smart enough to realize this is bullshit. They all ask me, can I transfer to another team? And I said no, because I don't want to be unfair. I want to make sure all the teams are equal. I don't want to just transfer because you want to transfer. So I said no. And then most people said, okay, I'll quit. And I have no choice, because if I let it continue, then everyone on that team will quit. And it's one of our best teams. Unfortunately, this leader is a complete idiot. She just recently owned this team. And instead of trying to drive results, she want to run it like a fucking democracy. She want to run it like everybody has human rights, everybody can decide what they can do, everybody has the freedom to choose. And even the team members don't respect that. The team members don't respect her. They complain about her so much they want to leave that team, otherwise they will quit. So finally, I have no choice but agree. And eventually, this leader continued to argue with me about human rights and shit. And I'm like, you're here to drive results. You're a sales leader. This has nothing to do with human rights. Asking people to go to product training is not a human rights issue. So eventually I got so upset. We gave her so many chances. We tried to teach her about leadership. I made so many videos actually just for her. I actually use this channel to make videos for my employees so that they watch it, so they understand what I'm saying. But despite all of our help, even though everyone on her team is rebelling, don't want to work with her, we're trying to help her so much, trying to teach her the proper way of leadership, she won't listen. Every week, she just want to argue with me about people need love and human rights and freedom. I don't get it. Even the team members themselves don't want it. They want results, because without results, they don't make money. So finally, I got so upset, I said, fuck you, and I fired her. I said, fuck you before I fired her. That felt good, because seriously, we tried so hard to help her. A lot of the other leaders are trying to help her as well. Other leaders are trying to teach her how to manage team, how to engage with the team, how to lead the team. But she just won't listen. She is completely confused by her ideological bullshit. She thinks that everybody cares about freedom, human rights, stuff like that. But actually, nobody cares. Not in a company. In a company, it's about results. Build the results, and you're a great leader. If you can't make people do what you want them to do and create results, then you're a shitty leader. Simple as that. Should a company run like a democracy? I would say no. If you disagree with me, you're an idiot, but welcome to comment below. I like to see what you say. If you think companies should run like a democracy, comment below so that I know how much stupid people there are in Vietnam. Take some fucking action, be a real leader, don't be a fucking pussy, and don't be a fucktard.